I've grown up believing that the future sits in my mother's lap. My mother does not rot the future in her arms as she would her own son. It would stomp around the house like a child, realizing here, there are no presents on Christmas morning. But my mother is an experienced mother, one who knows just how much to coax and just how much to chastise, though she often does more of the latter. She slaps the future's hands when it reaches into the coin jar, as though otherwise it would steal away my parents' retirement fund. She yells at the future when it runs out the back door with my mother's pills and starts to play baseball with it. She yells at the future even more when it invades her room and plays with her makeup, because the last thing she wants to think about is how, in just a few years, this makeup will do nothing for her. She grounds future. When it becomes too much to think about how moving into this new home has not meant painting new walls, but scraping more mildew and more rust bleeding from them. My mother spends her afternoons swashing away what she does not want to see. But my mother is no tiger mom. She often lets future come out of its room soon after because the only way she knows how to fill an empty space in her house is with expectation. She also likes to read the future bedtime stories. You see, these bedtime stories are fairy tales wrapped in a red leather case, but instead of a book, she takes out a compass. And this is no ordinary compass. A single needle stands at the center, points like a one-story tall lighthouse illuminating the entire Pacific, a sea of Chinese stars and symbols that I do not recognize, but my mother claims can guide any ship into the future. She cradles the future's head in her lap, holds up a compass like a prayer book, and says, "There's a reason why our house faces directly west. You can see the sun setting. You can know that every night will begin with a glimmer. That when the night of our own lives befalls us, we will be able to see everything that we may want shimmering before us." My mother has told me many versions of this story before, as to make sure that the future heard her voice, as to make sure that when the future grows up, it will remember her. It will remember that it was she who raised the future up, so much so that it's only filial and only right that the future let her build her next home upon stars, so she can look and peek above the clouds and look even further, so she can sleep upon the clouds without waking up at a time when she's fallen upon her knees and throwing up her hands up, wrangling the heavens and asking, "What did I do to deserve a future so far from the bedtime story?" Going to sleep is often hard for my mother. She hates not knowing if she's going to hold Future's hand when she wakes up, and so before she sleeps, she tells me the bedtime story every night that begins, "You will grow up to become wealthy and powerful." She says the story in multiple versions more than once, again and again and again, as though it will be, as though soon the future will come and hold my hand. But I've seen my mother slap away Future's hands so many times, prevent Future from screwing up so many times that when she points her finger, like a stubborn compass forward, I can't help but ask, how?